I've always been an entertainer. From my earliest days, yeah, I can remember, first grade, my mom, she'd bring the old ladies over and she'd put me on the coffee table, put a spoon in my hand, I'd sing to all the ladies. It's on my mother's side, they sing, they dance, they play music, they're just always happy with the lively arts. And a lot of it had to do with me putting myself out there. Talking to like the Philadelphia Inquirer, hey, I want to write up. Who the hell are you? I'm Johnny Alonzo. Well, that's kind of a cool name. Okay, we'll do a write up on you once. And then needless to say, people know who I was after that. That's it. And taking classes nonstop, meeting new people in your classes, because there's always somebody that knows just a little bit more than you. I'm always looking to better myself and not just try to get on the next level of acting and try to beat that actor. No, I'm trying to find ways to better me with my craft. And, it's a craft, guys. Always go. Your job as an actor is to audition. If there's an audition, go. That's your job. That's your job. Just go and do your best and never be inferior. Never be afraid.
Our lives are often filled with worry and chaos as the media propagates one negative story after another, bringing divide and tension within topics such as politics, religion, and race relations. These stories fuel hatred and confusion while people continue to live in fear. Yet through all this negative energy, many are delivering messages of wisdom and hope, encouraging positive change, and that's something I'm aiming to do. My name is Roger Brooks, and I'm hopeful for our future, but we must be the change and not be a spectator in life, looking from the outside in. For as long as I could remember, I've been fascinated by people's stories. Stories speak to us, and since the beginning of time, the human race has prospered by passing down wisdom told through the essence of story. It's a way for people to aspire to become the hero they know they could be, seeing their higher self through the wisdom of others. What started out as a hobby has quickly turned into my life mission, and as I deliver a new guest each Sunday, I'll aim to prompt the questions you may be thinking, and through the power of listening, I'll allow the guest to speak and articulate their points of view in order to give you the headspace you need to realize your own hero's journey. We are one race. We are one people. Help spread the word about American Real, and together, let's make great stories go viral to inspire, enlighten, and empower those we love and the masses we hope to reach. This week on American Real, we bring you actor and producer Johnny Alonzo. After graduating from NYU in the Actors Studio, he has worked on countless movie and television projects, bringing tenacity, intensity, and professionalism to his work. Johnny provides an up-close and personal view of the commitment it takes to work in Hollywood and the continual process to master the craft of acting. We learn about the auditioning process, the pressure of being on set, and the level of dedication needed to prepare for a day of filming. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this entertaining episode as I welcome Johnny Alonzo.
This is American Real. I am Roger Brooks. My guest today is actor Johnny Alonzo. After graduating from NYU and the Actors Studio, You have worked on countless projects, beginning with a recurring role on All My Children as Seth. From there, you secured countless roles as a guest star on Homicide, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Rules of Engagement before guest starring on ABC's Growing Pains Reunion 2 and in the movie Stateside. You also appeared in several episodes of Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill. You also starred in the Los Angeles film Coffin 1 and Coffin 2 and Day of the Gun. You've had recurring roles on Gotham. You've hosted for Emmy Award-winning series NASA 360 and currently host Click on This. Your resume is endless. I've mentioned only a few. Johnny Alonzo, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. It's great to be here. Seriously.
Look, we've been talking now for a couple of months on and off, and like we were saying before we went on camera, we made it happen. You made it happen because you came quite a ways from LA into New York, and we appreciate it, you being here today.
I wanted to be here. I told you I was going to make it happen. We'll get back into that later in our interview, but this totally worked out for me, and I'm happy to be on set.
That's great.
This is great.
And you've been living now in LA for quite a while. Yeah. You came back to New York. What's it like coming home?
It's great. You know, it sounds weird, but it's nice to take a break from Hollywood. You know, everyone usually goes there for vacation, right, or to hang, to enjoy themselves. But if that's your work environment, you know, you kind of like leaving it time and again. And I miss the East Coast. I'm very East Coast, and the weather's turning, and it's nice and cool outside. So we don't have this kind of weather back west. But it's nice. It's nice to see family. You know, I miss my family, and friends and new friends. And I'm just happy to be back on the East, man. I get recharged when I'm back here.
That's awesome.
It's nice, man.
No, and I'm sure it's good to get a break as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So look, you have been busy. You've been really, really busy. Yeah. I've been following you on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. You know, you shot a new Western film back in May, as I understand it, as one of the outlaws in Bill Tillman and the Outlaws. Yeah. Covered Warped Tour 2018 with your show Click on This. Shot a mob film called The Clean Job. Your new films, Hide and Seek and What Death Leaves Behind, had screenings in Hollywood last month. Hitting the film festival circuit.
Jeez.
I'm just looking at all these notes. You're getting ready to film another film in September called The Driver. Johnny, how do you feel at this time?
Exhausted. Confused. How about that? Is that better? Actually, kind of amazed. I didn't know I'd done that much.
That's a lot.
Blessed. How about that? Let's start with that. Blessed, man. It's been great. I mean, I've always been busy. In order to be busy in this business, you have to stay active and be within the network and really sink yourself into it 24 hours a day. You really do. Not saying that you know, all you have to do is act, because an actor that only acts is the most boring person in the world. You know, you have to have other things that you do, you know, side gigs, enjoy yourself, find time with family, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Just do your own thing and experience life. But I've been busy, man. I guess this past half year has been kind of wild. I just finished up, as you said, that film, Bill Tillman and the Outlaws, that new Western movie, which was so much fun to work on. Working on a Western is great, man.
Was that your first?
No, that was my second Western. Same director.
Okay.
We'll talk about Wayne in a second. But this film was such a wicked set, man. I mean, it looked like something from the set of Tombstone. Just a mini little Western town from like the late 1800s. It was so cool. Great actors that I worked with, starting off with Bill Tillman, played by Ken Arnold. Genius actor, an old friend of mine. And he just embodied the character Bill Tillman. He walked on set and there was just this power, you know. And you need that as a lead. You do. You need that kind of anchor. He's very strong, and I had a great time working with him. I also worked with Darby Hinton, Bobby Carradine, Lana Wood. She played my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Ma Darling. She was such a trip. Great actors like Richard Cutting, Brian St. August. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was just intense, and it was a great cast. And my director, Wayne Shipley. This is my second film, as I said. I worked with him on another Western called Day of the Gun. and I had to play like this Undertaker, really cool character, man. No dialogue, but in tons of scenes, and I had to get my point across with just silent acting within a dialogue-driven film. So he really put me to the test, but he must have liked what I did because he put me in this other film, Bill Tillman. And I got to work with Patty again. She's wonderful, and Dan Searle, he's the creative writer of the film. So I just had a conversation with Dan. I was in LA a couple weeks ago, and I gave him a buzz talking about distribution for the film. So they're locking in distribution, and I think they're gonna have a premiere, if I'm not mistaken, sometime in like November.
Okay.
Here back east. So when that happens, I'll let you know.
Please
I'd love
do.
to have you guys come down.
Please do.
Yeah,
Would
most
love
definitely,
to.
man.
Would love
And
to.
you mentioned Warped Tour. Yeah, my show, Click on This.
Right.
I've been working with Click on This for about 1,000 years. We've been doing this forever. Click on This started out as a hobby. It's a lifestyles, pop culture TV show. And the original cast or hosts were Crystal Milana, Sabrina Taylor-Smith, celebrity Al Soto, and Johnny Alonzo,
Okay.
and our fearless leader, Elena Moscat. And we just wanted to record stuff that we really enjoyed. Talking to some celebrities, going to like rock concerts, going to fashion shows. Almost 10 years later, we've been to Sundance several times. We've been interviewing celebrities. We've been doing Fashion Week in New York. We've been to Miami. We go to LA for all the red carpet premieres. And now we're on Sega TV. And you can also find us on NEO TV in the UK. And I'm now a producer on the show.
That's awesome.
It's rad, man. It's rad.
So were you there from the very beginning?
Since the very beginning. Sabrina was the first. And since then, of course, our group of actors and hosts have changed. But I've stuck with Elena ever since because I just enjoy it. Like I said, we really took we took it as our own as a hobby. If it's a hobby, you're not going to sweat things too much. You're just going to have a good time. And it really shows in our work. We really do just have a good time.
Fun.
We're just having a blast, man.
I watched a bunch of the clips.
Oh, isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's a riot.
Dude, yeah, it's totally, it's a riot, man.
Yeah.
Anytime if you're ever
And it's
around
legit.
us, it is legit.
Yeah.
It's badass, and we have such a good time, and we're making our mark, man. In fact, Click on This has been nominated for several awards for a bunch of WebFests this year, so we're excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And let me see. An actor's supposed to have good memory. You mentioned Hide and Seek and What Death Leaves Behind. It's another thing we're talking
Yes.
about. Actors need to listen to people. Hide and Seek was a film that I shot in Washington, D.C. with director, creative writer Shoshana Rosenbaum.
Okay.
Phenomenal to work with. It's a crazy, twisted, dark kind of film. Be careful for what you wish for kind of movie. Yeah, man. And it had a screening in Georgetown, a private screening a few months back. And it's been making the grade. It's been in all the film festivals, and they're doing super well. Which leads me to What Death Leaves Behind. That's another film that I just shot that I had a premiere back in February in Philadelphia. And then I had a screening in DC, and then our private screening in Hollywood not too long ago. Making the grade again. It's a film noir, psychological thriller. It's shot very non-linear. I work with some awesome talent like Vincent Young, Christopher Mann from Loving. My scene partner, Erin O'Brien. I love working with her. All of our scenes, I'm just going to call them the dream sequence, they were all linear, and the rest of the film was non-linear. It's just, it's wicked, man. You got to see this movie. Dennis Jante, Kelly Dowdle, Amanda Diaz. It was just a great collected cast, and Chad Morton is our exec producer.
Okay.
And Rachel Ofori, who's my favorite producer in the world. I got to work with her. So we're hoping that this movie will be coming out soon. Yeah, I mean, I want my footage, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any idea on time frame?
Well, we just had that premiere that private screening in Hollywood, about a month ago. So I'm thinking, if they're talking to the right distribution companies, everybody wants to put psychological thrillers and horror movies out around Halloween.
Right.
You know how this
That's
works,
what I'm
right?
hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for too. So that's kind of the direction I think they're going in. And this film is definitely worth not just, independent distribution. I mean, I'm really hoping to get the greats, the great platforms, iTunes, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, maybe theatrical. Who knows, man? Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. You don't want to sell yourself short, you know.
So how long, how much time did you spend on a film like that?
Well, that was a full-length feature, and I think, let's just say total of shooting that film, let's just say they had maybe a 5-week shoot. My character that worked alongside Aaron O'Brien's character, we were on set for at least, together, maybe 6 days. And then I had about 3 or 4 days on my own. I had different scenes.
Okay.
So, let's just say out of 50 days, I had about 10 days. It's not too bad.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
That
gives you enough time to really channel into a character. The longer you're on set, the better you adapt, and you start finding different nuances, stuff that you actually didn't think about when you were rehearsing with your coach, and you start building off other actors. I'm a very methodical actor, so when I come into the room, if somebody has something that's, kind of testing me, then I kind of bring my character up. I'm a very aggressive actor, so I don't like to be overshadowed. So it's good for them to be strong, because if they're strong, it makes me stronger, which makes the scene even better.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So walk us through a scene if you can.
Sure.
The average person does, we never see this until it's in the movies. So
Yeah.
what's happening before the scene? Give us an idea of what it's like.
Well, it usually starts months before that. You get your script, and you start to memorize, and you start to memorize more, and you continue to memorize to the point where you just can't stand it. That's how I work. Everybody's got their own method, right? So my method is read. And I don't just study my lines, I study everybody else's lines, because I don't need just the last few words to cue me. I want to know what they're really saying. Most of acting is reacting. So if you're studying by yourself, it's really hard to react because you don't have anybody reading with you. So it's always kind of new the first time you do it with other people, especially the guy playing that character or the woman playing that character. And they bring something completely different than what you had in your head, which is great because now you're really reacting, So that's how I don't like to overdo it with people. I'll overdo it with myself until I'm insane. But example, if I'm working with Vincent Young, we'll rehearse it just like you and I like this. We'll just talk it, save the acting for when we're on set. So when we're on set, it's a completely different attitude. Like when Aaron O'Brien and I were doing our scenes, we knew we had to be creepy, and we knew we had to be dangerous, and we knew we had to be very sharp. But when we're rehearsing, it's just this. Let's just get comfortable with our timing. But then when they said action, there's a different look in the eyes. And it's
game on.
Really, it's like, go for it, I dare you. And that's where you want to be. On any level, man, that's where you want to be. Whether it's comedy, whether it's a romance scene, whether it's anger, violence, I dare you. Just try me and see what happens. And dude, it's a totally different, the stage is completely done. It's just now you and I are here.
As you're saying this, you know what I think of?
What's that?
I think of Michael Jordan on the basketball court.
Oh, wow.
In Game 7 saying,
bring it on. Come on.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
When you say aggressive, what do you mean by that?
Aggressive, like in actors' choices, in being quick. Not trying to stump the other actors, that screws up the scene. Quick in, are you really reacting, or are you just being a parrot? And are you just doing, pantomiming? Are you doing something that you've already rehearsed with your agent a long time ago? I want to see if you're really acting, because it's called acting, right? Yeah. So that's what I mean by being aggressive. Like I won't take the typical choices. I never do. One of the reasons why I book a lot is because when I audition, I don't throw out the usual suspect choices. I never have. And I have my mom to thank for that, because my mom's a little off-center with everything. Ever since I can remember, she's always been a little off-center. I think my brothers and I got that from her. So our choices are never what the masses choose. Yeah, we're not the sheep. We're always just a little off. And that's helped me with my choices in acting. That's helped me with my speed and my timing and my cadence and how I want to say things and draw it back. Pregnant pauses. Some people will give a pause of 2 seconds, and they're used to that. And the audience is used to seeing it for only 2 seconds. Well, what if I gave it 5 seconds? Are they going to think I forgot my line? Or are they going to think I'm really that crazy? That's what I'm saying.
I see.
Changing everything, man. I mean, that's the fun of it all. Yeah, I learned that in acting school, man. I learned that in NYU. You know, no one wanted to be my partner in NYU because I was too aggressive. I was too hyperactive. My coaches would always say, Alonzo, bring it down. But then he'd tell the rest of the class, guys, bring it up. So one day, I realized he said that. And I was like, wait a minute, they're all trying to meet where I'm trying to come down. Maybe I'm not doing this so badly. Maybe I'm doing this right. And that's when it clicked. And that's when I realized I've got more juice and more energy than a lot of other people. And I can do that with silent acting. You know, I do that with comedy. I do that with romance. I do that with hyperactive. I do that with worriness. I mean, that's what builds my character. I have a brand, a certain style of acting. And I know I can't do everything. You know, I mean, as an actor, we're supposed to try. As an actor, you're never supposed to say no. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean you won't fail. You know, you got to try, right? And I'm always willing to try. So that's another thing too. I'm not afraid of anything, man, you know?
What do you enjoy most?
In acting? I think it's the euphoria I get after a scene, honestly. If I get that.
So it doesn't matter the type of character. It's always
you want the character? Oh yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a second. The euphoria that I get after a scene. If I have that euphoria where I'm coming down, then I know that I did it right. Then I know what it looks like on scene. I don't even need to watch playback. I know that it's going to look good, at least on my part, and you're going to be happy with it because I gave you more than what you've expected. I know it sounds arrogant, but you know what it is, man? It's just something that I've been doing this for a while, and I've conditioned myself to know when I'm mediocre or when I'm excelling. And I will always give you, you know, that top 10 tier. I don't care what it takes. I'll make sure that I get it for you. And you're going to be happy with it, I'm hoping, and I know that I'll be happy with it. But when it comes to playing a certain character, you know, I don't get to play the second in command a lot. I like playing the second in command because you can dance rings around the lead, you know, without doing too much. And I always say that if the film fails, who do they yell at? They yell at the lead actor. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know, I want to be the guy that's in second in command. But when it comes to like characters, I mean, I like playing jagged, edgy alternative characters. You know, I wouldn't mind playing like the button-down kind of guy, but you know, I don't see myself playing that character anytime soon.
Right. And the guys out there making the films, they know who you are.
Yeah.
They know the role that you'll fit. And do you see these? You mentioned you've worked with people multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Do you see that's what happens?
Absolutely. You know, like I said, you build an image for yourself. You build a brand, and like this is Johnny Alonzo. This is a brand. He doesn't exist. I keep telling people that he's just a brand that I've created over 20 years, man. And it's a marketable look. It's a marketable brand. It's a marketable attitude. It's a spirit. And my agent, who I've worked with forever, and she always says, just be the personable Johnny Alonzo that everybody loves, because that'll get you in the door. And then show them your facets, which I do. I also, you know, we've also learned that a certain image will get you in the door. You and I were talking before we came on set about the show NASA 360 that I used to work on. And NASA, they had a big casting call, nationwide casting. And my agent was like, I'd love for you to read for this, but I don't know if you're the right type, but you're a pretty good host. I was like, well, what are they looking for? They're looking for like the clean-cut NASA guy, like astronaut type, you know, power suit like yours, you know? And I'm like, I'll dress in a suit. So I get down there and I'm wearing a Sex Pistols t-shirt and I'm wearing like ripped up jeans, my hair's spiked all over the place and I have black nails. And I remember one of the casting guys, Kevin Krigsvold's like, hi. And I was like, hey man, I'm here to read. And he's like, okay. So I read for them, for Mike Bibbo and Kevin Krigsvold. And they must have saw something in me because I kept looking around the room and everyone had power suits and they looked like they just came off the space shuttle. They just looked perfect for the show. But I brought a different energy and I just did it my way. And I like I told you, I'll give you 110% of what I can do. Take it or leave it. And too much energy, I can always bring it down. And Kevin saw it, he goes, that guy's hired. So I'll have to send you my audition tape. They sent it to me not too long ago.
I'd love to see that.
Oh, it's hysterical. I'll show it to you. The world will never see it. It's one of those. But I had a blast on that show, and it just goes to show you.
You got the role.
I got
right?
the role, man. Yeah, I got the role. And just because something says they're looking for a power suit, power kind of guy, collegiate type, if you bring in something else that they don't see that they like, they might go with you. Always go. Your job as an actor is to audition. If there's an audition, go. That's your job. That's your job. Just go and do your best and never be inferior. Never be afraid. That's the kiss of death for anybody, So I like auditioning. A lot of people hate it. I love to audition. It gives me a chance to perform. That's how I see it. Travel a couple hours to perform for 5 minutes and then leave.
Didn't you once audition 28 times for Warner Brothers?
I did. That was my breakthrough show, Dawson's Creek, 28 times. True story. I finished up the market in the Northeast in New York. Started knocking the ball out of the park in the Mid-Atlantic, Baltimore, D.C., Richmond, Philadelphia. People thought I lived in Philly. I was doing so much work up there. Virginia Beach, just blanketed it, covered it all. And then just kind of plateaued. There's a time when you kind of outgrow your neighborhood and your network. I said, where am I going to go next? I'm not ready for the West Coast yet. What's past Virginia Beach? Wilmington, North Carolina. And they had a studio there called Screen Gem Studios. So I talked to my agent at the time. Her name was Gail Provence, wonderful lady. And I said, I want to start auditioning down there. So she got in touch with these great casting directors named the Fincannons, Mark, Craig, and Lisa May, very close friends of mine. Mark took a liking to me, and he'd call me down to Wilmington, North Carolina. He's like, Johnny Alonzo, every time we need someone that's just a little off-center or a little weird, you're the guy I'm calling. And I didn't know how to take that at first. But then I realized the guys that he's been calling in were all from the Southeast, and they had a different speed.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. We may have looked alike, but they all kind of talk like this. Mm-hmm. And here I am, Mr. Hyperactivity, only on 58 seconds per minute. So I get down there, and I'm auditioning, and I haven't booked anything for Mark. And then one day he says, listen, man, there's a new show coming into town, and I want you to read. It's called Dawson's Creek. I said, yeah, cool. So I read for the pilot, the first episode, right? Didn't get it, didn't expect to. Read several times through the first season, nothing. Second season, nothing. Third season, fourth season, fifth season, nothing. And I've had it with Dawson's Creek. To hell with Dawson's Creek. I'm done auditioning for the show. And my agent Gail says, Johnny, we got another audition. I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I get down, this is the 6th season, and Mark's like, you back? I said, I know, I'm getting tired of it. He goes, just read for this one. I think you'll get it. So that was the 28th audition. Let me just back up, 2 auditions. The 26th audition was for a young jock. Didn't get that. The 27th audition was for a young school teacher. I didn't get that. The 28th audition was for a junior stockbroker. Kind of a combination of my 26th and 27th audition. So putting those 2 auditions together, on the 28th audition I nailed it. It was a great awesome. Thing. And I got it. It was Jimmy Franco, was a junior stockbroker. I worked next to Katie Holmes and Joshua Jackson on every episode for 8 episodes recurring. True story. I didn't think I was going to book it, so my family had a vacation and we went down to Cancun, Mexico. And this is back in the days when we still carried pagers. Right. Remember those things? Ridiculous, ridiculous. So I'm like, hey, Dad, we've been in Cancun for a couple of days. I just need to check my pager. Yeah, fine, it's international. Hurry up. So I check it, and Gail says, call me. Just came in that day. So I called her. She goes, congratulations. I said, what? She goes, you booked it. And I said, what did I book? I had no idea, right? I didn't think it was Dawson's Creek. She goes, you booked Dawson's. You got a recurring on there. Great. When do they need me? Oh, you got to be back there Thursday. This was 2 days from now. I said, I'm in Cancun. She goes, you have to come back. So what an ordeal that was. It was a complete nightmare. I had to change my ticket. I had to fly back to BWI, then drive down there to Wilmington, North Carolina. Oh, it was a nightmare. And then I show up at Screen Gem Studio lot, and Mark sees me. He's like, Johnny, how do you feel? I said, I'm exhausted and I hate you. And he goes, what? I said, I'm just kidding. Thanks for getting me on the show. But that was the start of it all. That was my first national break on primetime TV.
What year was this about?
Jeez, 1810. It was so long ago, man. I don't know. This is at least 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Because right after that, once that was the last season of Dawson's, once that broke off, I was fortunate enough to read for One Tree Hill. And same casting directors, God bless them. They called me in, and I read for, the character's name was Ty, T-Y. He was the band manager. And I went in with my New York speed attitude, and I just did it my way. And they changed the name when they called me. They said, "You got that role, man. You're playing the band manager, but his new name is Joey D." I said, "I like Joey D a lot more than Ty, so hey, why not?"
They made him you.
They made me me.
Yes.
They made him like me. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they did. They just saw my audition was completely
That's a
different.
compliment.
It is a compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you. Even
very
they said
cool.
that. They said everybody else just didn't get the idea of a band manager. Got to be quick, no BS,
Mm-hmm.
personable, but only on a business level. But you know, guys in the waiting room had like top hats and a big boat. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, good luck trying to book that gig. So I booked Joey D, and I remember being on set with Chad Michael Murray, Sophia Bush, Bethany Joy Lenz, Tyler Hilton. I was like, oh my God, I actually made it here. So my 2 episodes turned into 6. Because, you know, if you're good to everybody and they like you and you actually gel with the great leads, because I was a core lead, they were the great leads, they kept me on set. Yeah, it was such a good time down in Wilmington. You
That's
know?
great.
I spent 3 seasons down at Wrightsville Beach and Screen Gem Studios.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
So earlier you mentioned Click on This,
Yeah.
and I've been checking that out. We talked about it a little bit, but I've also heard that you've been nominated for Best Host. And it's an upcoming New Jersey Web Fest
That's
that's
right.
coming up.
Thank you. Yes. Nominated for Best New Host for Click on This at the 2018 New Jersey Web Fest. These guys are phenomenal. They're all over your Instagram, you know, and all over
Yep.
Twitter as well. And I think it's happening first week of September.
Okay.
So me and my counterpart, Julia Lee, she's yet another host in Los Angeles that works on Click on This. Very pretty. She also got nominated for Best Host, so we're excited about it.
So you'll both go?
We'll both go.
Great.
Yeah, I'll be flying back in for that. And I know that I had an episode that I interviewed Shira Girl from Warped Tour at the Mint in Los Angeles. And that episode got nominated for like Best New Content or like something had to do with her. So Shira's very excited. So whether we win or not on anything, on any level, we're just happy to be there. And to be nominated is just an honor itself, you know, to be recognized for your work.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, man, we're having a blast. You know, it is work, don't get me wrong. Producing and shooting and memorizing lines and being there on time and babysitting everybody and who's got the bar tab. It's just too much crap you got to deal with. But it's all fun. You just enjoy life, man, you know.
How much time are you spending on it?
On Click on This, when I get my assignments, I'll be honest with you, if Elena says, hey, we're interviewing New Order, I mean, I already know the band. I know all about them. But I'll dig deep and I'll put in at least 3 to 4 hours of just studying to get great questions. Because like yourself, when we do our hosting, we're off book. And you got to be quick on the fly because you might have 12 questions, but if the person you're interviewing goes off in a different direction, you have to have at least a couple questions to try to bring them back in.
Right.
So that's the stuff that you learn. And so I've spent a lot of time with Click on This. Like I said, it was a hobby at first, now it's a job, and now it's a series, a nominated and award-winning series. Yeah, man, and we're always casting, we're always looking for new hosts. You know, Elena's been trying to put together Teen Click on This, which little Roger might be interested in working on one day. So that's another thing that we're talking about, and I'm also producing a lot of stuff in LA now. You know, I've learned that I'm pretty good with the gift of gab. I mean, I can talk, you know, and I love acting. It's my passion. You know, I've been an entertainer since I was a little kid, but I also know that I like the whole business end of it. Producing's been it's been testing, but it's been fun. You know, I like playing that producer's role.
It's a tough job, though,
Yeah,
right?
you know.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
And were there times where you were discouraged?
Oh God.
Early days?
How about like right now as we talk? You know,
Yeah.
yeah, man, absolutely.
That doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It's always there. But I've also learned how to let go of things. There's certain things you just can't control. So like we're producing a couple projects right now in Los Angeles, you know, Coffin 3 and The Riddle House.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Riddle House, I want to
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
talk
that.
about that.
Yeah.
Coffin 3, for example, that's the franchise film that I've been working on in LA, as you know.
Yeah.
And my character Trick is kind of like he's kind of like the Freddy Krueger of the Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's a great franchise. And Dr. Spencer Johnson, pretty much, you know, he's the guy. He's the executive producer of that whole franchise. Kip Tribble is the director, master in chief of the project. And they've been talking about bringing back Trick and some of the cast for Coffin 3 to shoot back in Los Angeles spring of 2019. So I'll be helping them produce that.
Great.
Yeah, man. You know, to have a trilogy shot in Los Angeles is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought 1 and 2 would be great. Now I'm greedy. I want 3.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, why not? Why? If we can make it happen, man, come on. So that's been fun, and I know that 3 is going to be. 1 and 2 were more like crime thriller. They were very beat the clock, cat and mouse kind of chase thing. I know that 3 is going to be really amped up with a lot more sinister twists and turns. Trick's going to be. He's going to be an ass this time. He's completely. He's unraveled. He's lost it this time. So
And will you have a role in that?
oh yeah,
As far as
I'll be playing
the
Trick
strategy
once
of it,
again.
though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. When it comes to the casting, and like when it comes to, okay, writing is all Kip, unless I tell him I don't like something. Then he'll maybe change it, or maybe he'll just tell me to do it. But my character Trick, we've all talked about it after Coffin 2. We said if there was ever a 3, I would love to see Trick really just go on the lam, just be incredibly mean, because Trick is a showman. Trick is an actor. He's a voice actor. My character kind of talks like this the entire time. Nobody knows what his real voice is, you know? In 3, you'll find out what his real voice is, and you'll find out where he's really coming from, and he's spinning out of control. So I can't wait to do 3. Kip and I have been talking about it, and we have some really cool ideas, man. So
That's awesome.
yeah, to have it, Coffin 3 will be sick.
And the series, I'm sure, has a great following. So they're probably
huge.
chomping at the bit
Totally.
for Coffin 3, right?
Oh, totally. It
Yeah.
became a cult classic, man.
Yeah.
You know, the first film, when it came out, it was kind of like how Road Warrior hit the scene, you know? Or Mad Max, you know? It's like, oh, I got to see the next one.
Right.
So yeah, you may have had X amount of followers, but then 5 years later, you didn't realize that those X amount of followers have turned into this many followers, and
Exponential.
Exponential. It's been great, and we still get email, fan mail, hate mail, whatever, man. You know, yeah, whatever, man. They're at least watching it, and yeah, we've had a bunch of people ask us when Coffin 3 is coming back. So we had a 5-year stint between Coffin and Coffin 2. I can promise everybody that's watching this now that Coffin 3 will only be about a year in between, because we're all getting older too.
And it sounds like you're excited about it to
Yeah,
get it done.
Totally. And to work with the old cast. I mean,
Right.
that's the thing. When you make such a great friendship and rapport with these people, man, you want to see them again.
Yeah.
And you just bring them back. And you know, you can congratulate them on their previous, I mean, the work that they've been doing since the last time you saw them. And, you know, just compare war stories and reminisce about the other projects. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that Coffin family is great. And that'll be shot again in Hollywood and in Los Angeles.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
In your backyard.
In the backyard, exactly.
So, Johnny, let's talk about hide and seek.
Sure.
And what death leaves behind. And
Sure.
the driver, if you don't mind.
Sure. Hide and Seek, like I said, was with Shoshana Rosenbaum out of Washington, D.C. And it was done with the Women Film Society of Washington, D.C. So they had an incredibly tight-knit cast and crew. They got stuff done. And it's like they had nothing to prove, but they wanted to prove to themselves that they can do it and do it right. I've never been on a better shoot. I'm not even kidding. When they said 5:05, be in makeup, you had to be there at 5:05, and you were out of the makeup chair at 5:15, and ready on set at 5:22. I mean, they were to the point. And it was great working with an all-women crew. I enjoyed it. They were very direct and to the point. And I will say this, I've worked with so many photographers, let's say still photographers, men and women. I've always enjoyed female photography. They have a different palette. Their composition is just a little different. They have something that guys don't have. I'm just going to say it. I mean, I can just be honest, yeah. And I prefer it. I've worked with both. I have some great headshots from male photographers, but my favorites are from the women. And working with Shoshana, I knew it was going to be good because I've seen her previous work. And her writing is strong, and when you pick up a script and you can read it, and all of a sudden you get a vision of something, whether it's exactly what she's thinking of or not, if you have something in your head, that tells you right there it's good writing. That, oh wow, I can actually visualize this. It's cohesive, So when I got on set, it was almost identical to what she wanted to do. She was that good. The writing was that good. It was that good. So working with Shoshana, and then Joy Jones and William Waddle, and then the girl that played my daughter, Asher Gibbons. I didn't know any of these actors, but some of them knew my work. I think Asher's mom looked me up on One Tree Hill and showed Asher, oh, you're going to be working with him. You better be good. You better be good. And I told you, I bring everything. I'm an aggressive actor. I'm very strong. And I was like, here we go. I get to work with a child actress. I've never worked with one before. Let me try this. So I'll be light with her. Well, that was a mistake. She was super strong. So then when I gave her my line, she came back at me, and I was almost taken back. I'm like, oh, you're going to be that good? Here we go. So our acting, I brought my acting up to my original level, and everything just came to life. And the mystery in the story is what really gets you. Like I said, one of the lines in the film is be careful for what you wish for. It turns into a very Freaky Friday. Oh no, what have I done? Can I get out of it? It's
Wow.
really wild. It's wild. So the film has been doing awesome. A friend of mine saw it, I think, in a DC Film Fest not too long ago. And then there was one, I think, in the Midwest not too long ago. I got a call. They're like, hey, I just saw you in a film out here. I was like, rad, I haven't seen it yet, really? So I saw the one in DC, but I haven't seen it since, and I think they've tweaked it up since. But what Hide and Seek is awesome. Yeah,
Can't wait to see
yeah,
that.
I'll send you a copy.
Cannot wait to see
And like I
that.
said, again, with What Death Leaves Behind, man, I'm thinking and I'm hoping that that's going to come out in around the Halloween, and around October, around that time. If not, it'll be the dead of winter. I know how distribution companies work. You also don't want to put out a film if it's going to be up against Star Wars.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You got to watch for timing.
Sure.
Or a film that's going to be similar to yours that already has a buzz. Like Sinister 3. You know what I mean? You got to be very careful. But there are a lot of good filmmakers out there right now. And there was a time when I first started out, independent films, web series, some of this stuff's a lot better than
No
some
doubt.
of the, some
The
of the
technology's getting better.
Oh yeah, dude.
You have up and coming, producers and young
Yeah.
people that.
You can shoot stuff on 4K now,
That's
man,
right.
and you can't tell if it's studio or not.
Right.
Yeah, Which brings me to your set. Guys, I'm going to tell you, if this looks comfortable to you, this is one of the reasons why I came on the show, because it's as comfortable as it looks. I love your set.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's lit film noir. The composition's fantastic. It's got like a really artistic touch to it. And like I said, I wanted to do this because I saw you with Timothy. Your line of questions were great. I like the way you guys handled yourself on your set. But I loved this. I love this, and this is a beautiful studio. This is a new studio, right?
It is. Yeah, we've only been here about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
You're probably the 4th or 5th episode. Here.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's so rad. I mean, you guys are on what, the 28th floor? You can see Manhattan. You can see Manhattan from here. It's amazing. It's fantastic. No, but I'm telling you, this I love, and because I shoot all over the place, and you can see good sets and you can see good lighting, but this is exceptional.
Well, it means a lot coming from you.
Well, thank
Really?
you. That means a lot to me. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
absolutely.
I love the film noir lighting, and you're taking a chance. That's what I like about it, man. Yeah.
And we're keeping it real.
And we're keeping it real, Everybody's got a story to tell,
Yes.
right?
So, speaking of the set in American Real
Yeah.
and Timothy,
Yes.
is that how you were introduced? I
That's
assume?
exactly how I was
Okay.
introduced. Timothy and I did a TV show. I can't, the name slips me right now, but it was a primetime show. And we had a few scenes together, and I think we had dialogue together. And so we became friends. And what do? You friend somebody on Facebook. You know how it works. Several months later, I'm reading the feed, and Timothy says, "Hey, check me out. I'm on this new show. I got to talk. I just did this interview on a talk show." I'm like, let me see what he's done. I haven't talked to this guy in a while. So I click on the link, and I'm watching the show, and I'm glued. I'm loving everything about it. The speed, your questions, your look, his look, the contradiction, the film noir lighting, everything. And I'm like, I got to get on this show. I've done so many interviews. I want to get on this show. So I watched that episode, and I watched a couple others. I'm like, it's perfect. There's so much synergy. Everything is just where it needs to be. So I give my agent a call. Hey, she goes, what? I said, I want to be on this show. Another interview? I said, trust me on this. Take a look at this. I sent her the link. Hey, that looks really good. I'm like, yeah, man. Can you find? She goes, I'll find out.
She
2
did.
days later, she gets back to me. She goes, I can't find anything on these people. How do I find them? I said, I thought you're the agent. She goes, I can't find anything. So I said, look, I know somebody. His name is TJ. He's, short of being a computer hacker, I'm sure he can find this. So, hey, TJ, where are you? I'm in Texas. Can you do me a favor? There's a show called American Real. Can you please look it up for me? I want to get on there. He's like, no problem. Gets back to me a day later. I emailed Roger, and I emailed your agent. It's up to you guys to make it happen. Then you got in touch with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then about a month and a half, you and I were talking, and voila, I'm here. Yeah, dude.
So cool.
It's so cool. Like I said, I feel like I'm home here. This is just it's got a great aesthetic, and you make people feel comfortable. I mean, your demeanor. And look, it's almost like I'm hosting you now. Look at this. I know the roles have turned,
roles
guys.
have
The American
turned.
Real with Johnny Alonzo. Yeah, my featured guest today. So no, man, it's nice, and there's a power to it. You guys have the professionalism, and it's kind of laid back.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it, man.
No, thanks. And look, the fact of the matter is, for me, it's all about telling your story.
Yeah, I know.
The guest that sits there.
Sure.
Because if we take the time to really dig in and, look, we're all so busy
I know.
in our daily lives, but
Tell me
when
about
do we really, even our own families, do we really sit down and ask these questions that are really important?
I know.
And hopefully inspire others. I'm hoping you could inspire other actors
I hope
that are
so
thinking
too.
about it.
Or not, dissuade them.
That's right.
What's
But
the
it's
matter with
life
that guy?
experience that we're bringing to iTunes, to YouTube, so people could actually listen to other people's stories,
Yeah.
learn from it, and get inspiration.
Sure.
And that's what we're doing. So that's really cool how you were introduced, and
Yeah,
we
man.
made it happen, as we said. So, all right. So now the big question: how did you get into acting? Where did this bug start? How did it all begin for Johnny?
God,
Lanza?
Roger, you got time? Okay, watch this. I've always been an entertainer. From my earliest days, I can remember. Back in Queens, in Howard Beach, first grade, my mom, she'd bring the old ladies over. And she'd put me on the coffee table, put a spoon in my hand, I'd sing to all the ladies. They'd throw me $1, then I'd leave. I remember this. I also remember one time in Howard Beach, they'd have a festa, which is like a neighborhood party. And everybody's having a great time. I remember doing this on my own, just running out. I saw some of the old ladies. I got on their table, and I started singing to everybody. People just clapped.
You
And
get
I
right
loved
up
it.
there.
Right up there, no problem. No
fear.
No fear, none. My mom's like, where the hell is this kid? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's fine. So fast forwarding, we're now in Baltimore, Maryland. My parents are both doctors. My father's a plastic surgeon, my mother's a pediatrician. They moved their practices from Flatbush. And my dad's gonna hate me saying this. They're both artists in their own right. But when it comes to the lively arts, it does not come from the Alonzo.
Okay.
They can't sing, they're terrible. They can't play instruments. I don't want to hear about my great aunt from Broadway. I don't care about that. It's on my mother's side, they sing, they dance, they play music. They're just always happy with the lively arts. So my mother in this house, she had a baby grand playing the piano. My brother and I would listen to her, thought it was cool. One day she said, hey, do you want to learn? Love to. So she got me lessons. I hated lessons, couldn't stand it. I took it for about 2 months. I learned the notes. I learned how to play some chords. Mom, I'm done with this. I want to play guitar. Ah, all right. So she bought me a guitar. But with the guitar came lessons. It's the only way to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right, notes, chords. I can sight read now. Okay, Mom, I'm done with this. I know how to play this. She's like, God, that was a waste of money. Fast forward even more. Now I'm playing with in a band with my brother. I got an electric guitar. My brother's got drums, but then he went over to bass. Then our neighbors, Peter and Stephen Ramos, we started a band called The Unknown. And it was a wild time. We came out with 2 albums.
Cool.
We toured the Northeast and the South at 17, 18, 19 years old. We were on every college radio station from here to LA and back. We had write-ups in the CMJ, NME, Music Express, everything. It was great, but music was changing. We were still very alternative progressive, and music was changing. And then college came around, and girlfriends broke up the band. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to jam with anybody else. I was so in tune with my brother and the other brothers. But I realized there was a lot of acting involved on our stage performances. I said, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Let me try my hand at acting. So what's the first thing you do when you don't know what to do? In acting, you get your headshots done. So I spent like $1,000 on pictures, wasting money left and right. My parents hated me. Studio 1209, I love them to death. They shot my first headshot, and I was like, I need an agent. They said, well, we don't know how this works, but we have a list of agencies. So I submitted to these people, and my first agent was Sharon Steele from Steele Casting. She took a chance with me, and she submitted my picture, and I started booking left and right in Baltimore. It was great. Voiceovers, local commercials, industrials. And I also learned that putting your name out there and networking and being your best promoter is what really helps you too. Mm-hmm. So like, there was a group of actors, we'd all audition together and stuff. But I began to book more than them because I was getting my name out more and hanging out at the right places and letting people know, oh, I'm not just an actor, I'm a musician. Oh, I'm not just a musician, I'm a skater. Oh, I'm not just a skater, I can swing dance, all this stuff.
Not afraid to showcase your talents.
No, not at all, not
That's
at
great.
all. Yeah, thanks, man. I just learned that, I told you this earlier, an actor that just acts is completely boring. To hell with that actor, seriously. You're so much better than that, man, So I started really soaking up the network in the Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia market. Huge. I mean, nonstop work. Nonstop. And a lot of it had to do with me putting myself out there. Talking to like the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hey, I want to write up. Who the hell are you? I'm Johnny Alonzo. Well, that's kind of a cool name. Okay, we'll do a write-up on you once. And then, needless to say, people knew who I was after that. Baltimore Sun did the same thing. I got a spot in the Village Voice in New York. All from me writing them. Hey, man,
taking the initiative.
Yeah, that's it. And taking classes nonstop, meeting new people in your classes, because there's always somebody that knows just a little bit more than you. Mm-hmm. Always. So I would take the initiative to talk to people and be humble about it, and travel. Home is where you hang your hat in this industry. Home is where you hang your hat, and you never play bigger than you are. I always tell people, because that'll bite you in the ass eventually. Just be cool. Just be cool, man. And stay loyal to your agents, I've had some great agents in my time, man. Seriously, I'm still very good friends with all my agents. I mean,
and what happens? Why would you leave an agent, for example?
Sometimes you have to leave the agent because like you hit a threshold, you hit the top of your ceiling. And she or he will even say,
I
can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I want to be there with you. Yeah, but I can refer you to them. Mm-hmm. It's been a great journey. And it's sad, but you got to leave high school eventually. Mm-hmm. And then you got to leave college. So that's where I've been. And once you're at this level, that you can work with your agent forever, a bigger agent, when you get the big agencies. But even still, an actor still tries to find other representation, if need be, because then they feel like they're not getting the same representation they had 3 years ago or 5 years ago. It's never been my case. I'm always on top of my game. I hear about shows and movies way before they're even in production. Way before they're even into casting. So I'll give my agent the heads up. Hey, there's a new show that Adult Swim's putting out in about 2 months. I want that because I heard that there's a great role for me. So I'm still playing like the agent role within.
That's great.
Yeah, these years, man. It's insane.
So you started getting all kinds of work down in the Baltimore area.
Yeah.
Then what? Do you go into prime time at that point? What was your first?
No, the first went back up to New York. When I started to feel like I wasn't doing much in that, I mean, I was doing so much in that Mid-Atlantic and then Philadelphia area that I said, you know, this isn't fast enough for me. I'm so hyperactive. I need to keep doing things. So I went to New York. One day I just took a bus. Went to New York, dropped me off at Port Authority. First newsstand I saw, picked up the Backstage magazine, which is a trade paper. Rifled through it. Oh, there's some workshops here. These sound cool. Let me audit this one while I'm here. Oh, this one sucks. Oh, this one's a scam. Ooh, I kind of like this. What's this? Actor Studio. Tish. Let me try that, because that sounds great. So I went there, and it was no BS. I mean, you had to audition for this place. 8 months, I couldn't get in.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 months, man. I kept going back and forth on the bus. Wouldn't tell anybody what I was doing. Just go up one early morning, come back late at night. And 8 months, nope, sorry, come back. Nope, sorry, come back. I was determined to get in, because I've only heard great things. Actor Studio, right? I got in finally.
Great.
And when I did, man, it was all worth it. Like I said, they didn't like my friends or whatever you want to call them. The other actors in the class did not like me, only because maybe they saw something in me.
A little competitive.
Yeah, a little competitive. I mean, they became inferior, but that wasn't. I'm not about that. I'm just kind of a big energy. I'm kind of a bright light when I walk into a room. I don't know. You know, that's just how I hold myself.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of a curse, because sometimes you just like to be one of the others, one of the crowd, and you can't sometimes. You know, it's like you wouldn't mind walking into a party and just act like you're in a library where nobody's bothering you, right? People always just seem to come up to me and want to talk, which is fine. You know, I don't have a problem with that, but when you want your downtime, it's not easy.
That's what I was just going to ask you is,
Yeah.
you know, do you ever get to a point where, you know, you just feel like, geez, I wish I could
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
take some time to myself?
Yeah, I do.
Or not be,
Yeah, be
who I
so, yeah, what's the term? Like, yeah, just so drenched with so much. Yeah. That's why I like staying in Mission Beach, because it's home on the West Coast. I love the beach, and I like playing the guitar, and I'll set up a GoPro.
I've watched
You
these
watch his
YouTubes.
videos?
Yeah, on your YouTube page.
Craziness on
I
my
love
YouTube
it.
page. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and you just start singing.
I just start singing.
Yeah.
And most people, like, they'd be kind of weird setting stuff up like that. I told you, I've never had a problem just entertaining. But I'm doing it for myself now.
Right.
This is my downtime. This is my way to decompress. And some of those songs don't turn out half bad. It's fun.
I heard some Billy Joel.
Yeah, dude, how about that one?
great.
That wasn't easy to play.
Not easy.
Thank you. No, and it's a lot of time to set up a GoPro and the tripod and the Tascam recorder for the audio and one can for lights. And then you're trying to do it and you got somebody looking in the camera. I'm like, dude, you're ruining my shot. But I will say this, doing that, setting up the GoPro and just playing around town has helped me as an actor, because I am fully aware of what I look like on camera without going back to playback. That helps an actor. Like, we have a 5-camera setup here right now. I know exactly what I look like on this camera, this camera, this camera. That's why I keep turning myself this way. And that camera, that's behind, that's you. Actors had to be very aware, at the same time, let it go. So when I set up the GoPro, there is no monitor system on a GoPro. I got to keep going behind the camera. Okay, now I'm in the frame. Okay, perfect. Now I got to act for it. So if I do this, I know exactly what I look like. See, be aware of what your frame is. That's huge for an actor. If they can figure out what their frame is and feel comfortable with how they look, it helps the director out as well.
Well, it's interesting. We started this program called Live Tribe about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, man.
And the whole idea is for people to do a 1-minute video live of themselves every day within our private Facebook group. But what's coming out of it is magic, in that, most people, probably virtually all the people in there, are not actors, for starters.
Sure.
They've never performed a live video. They don't know what to do. But what's amazing is it's a 21-day challenge. So when they start on day one, very uncomfortable, and then you watch them progress.
Yeah.
By the end of the 3 weeks, they're really good at it.
They're pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing, these little things. So I could see how you're doing this GoPro would be very helpful. To your trade.
It is. It's very helpful to my trade, and I'm always on camera, but you can never stop learning.
Right.
Dude, never. And that's just how easy is it to pull up your cell phone these days and record yourself. I just tell actors, just do it.
Right.
Just try it, man. Yeah.
So you're now producing in LA.
Yes.
Tell us what you're working on, and you may have touched on it already, but that's it's a bit different than acting.
It's
so
cool.
I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, but other than the Coffin franchise, Coffin 3, that I'll be helping produce, I'm producing a project currently called The Riddle House.
Okay.
Yeah, man, and it's a new haunted house horror, written by Edward Abramson.
Okay.
And it's badass. It's creepy. It's everything. It's everything that you've seen, man, and more.
It's a feature film?
Feature film.
Okay.
Feature film. I've been talking with Edward since last year. He met me at the Scare LA. Scare LA is like this big fest. That's like a Halloween fest in August in Los Angeles.
Cool.
And we had a bunch of booths there. And I had a Coffin 2 booth there, right before the main premiere that we had in Hollywood. But Edward approached me because I had my own Johnny Alonzo booth, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Oh, great." He's like, "Gotham, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're perfect for the script that I have." I'm like, "Oh, I've heard that before." I said, "What's it called?" He goes, "The Riddle House." I love that name. I was like, "Well, tell me about it." So he pitched me. I said, "Do you have any money for it?" He goes, "No." I was like, "It's all right. It's all right. Can I read it?" "No problem." So he sent me the script. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with the character Peter Gunn. It's such a cool role. It's like this rock and roll character. He's burnt out from tour, and so much happens. I can't give away too much. So much happens in the story. Meets this really hot chick, and it's his band manager's daughter, and they go into the Riddle House to take a break from tour. She's supposed to watch him because he just got out of the hospital. Turns out the house is haunted. They had no idea the house is haunted. Dude, it's so cool. Wow. And we've been tweaking and rewriting this film, and we've been talking to A-list actors, and we've got some great names attached to it. Jeff Burr from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has agreed to direct.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Gabriel from Cannon Films is producing. And Cannon Films, if you remember, they put out the old Lethal Weapon series.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
And the Charles Bronson series, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, who else have I been talking to? Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols. Tracy Fairway, my favorite person in the entire world. She's going to be in it, playing Violet. We've talked to Danny Glover, who wants to play the town sheriff.
He's the best.
He's the best. He's awesome. He's awesome. We got that connection through Cannon Films because of the Lethal Weapon days.
Right.
Kristana Loken, we've talked to from Terminator 3. And this is all hinging on, within the next month or so, we're trying to just generate the last funds. And if that happens, when that happens, we're probably going to start filming end of October, early November.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'll have a role in the film
Yes.
as well as a producer.
Correct. I'll be playing. I'm first team producer next to Edward Abramson, but I'll also be playing one of the leads, Peter Gunn, the burnt out rock star. And
sounds like a great character.
Oh, it's a great character, man, and the music's awesome. And I was like, this is going to be so much fun. And Tracy and I have been talking about trying to get a project together. We've known each other for 7 years, and her career has just escalated in 7 years. And we've done so well on our own. But we said the first time we met that we're going to do a movie together. It's just going to be the right one. And we both know that this project, The Riddle House, is going to take us to the next level. And the great thing about Riddle House is that it already has a Riddle House too. So it's a franchise film.
Good.
Yeah, man. So it's like, you can get me for low end on this one. The second one, I'm adding a 0 to
Yeah,
it.
right.
So we're very excited, and the stuff that Edward has written beyond the Riddle House, we're producing another project called Witch Play and Ghost Ship. And what's the other film that he's got going? He's got something else. But this is all within the family. You get one project up, one on the scoreboard, it's easy to get the other ones happening. So this has been a hard one to put together because we have money, but we're not doing it for cheap because we know that it can be like a Conjuring,
Right.
you know, a Sinister, and
Right.
Annabelle. It's all
To
within
hit
this.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all in the same budget, 500,000 and up. You know, you can do a movie for $1 million. It's easier to get a movie for $1 million. It's easier to get $1 million for a movie versus getting something for 750 or 500. I don't know why. It's just how it is. But stats prove that if you pour money like $1 million into an independent, there's no guarantee you're going to make your money back. At the $500,000 level, you can easily make twice as much just from domestic and first international or foreign distribution. And right then and there, you've already made 700 plus. So these are the things that we're working on. You know, we're trying to be as patient as possible. I want to shoot this as soon as possible, but we're trying to be as patient. And when we do have this up on, please, you guys are my guests. Come on set.
I'd love to.
Love to have you guys on set.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too, bro. You're allowed on set, all right? Yeah. So it would be fun, man. But yes, I'll keep you updated on that.
Please.
I will.
So not every actor becomes a producer.
No.
When did you start thinking about this?
That's a good question. I always wanted to be a talent rep. So when I was acting, no, I'm still acting, but I mean, in my early days, I loved my agents, but I always wished my agent was a little more like me, a little more aggressive, a little more in the know, a little more, hey, let's go out for drinks and let's talk about this new film. I got this great actor that I want you to meet. So I always wanted a rep, and I always thought I'd be a wicked rep in LA. So that never happened. But down the road, before Coffin 2, I was helping a friend produce a project. And I enjoyed it, making phone calls. Because I'm just going to say it, he's kind of a passive-aggressive guy. He doesn't have a backbone. So it was very hard for him to ask for money. And here I am on the film. Okay, so wait, how much do you have? I don't have time for this. You got 10 seconds and you've already lost 4. How much do we have? That's me.
Good.
Yeah. So the first time it actually happened to become a real producer, I was an assistant producer on Coffin 2.
Okay.
They just needed some help. And they needed us to like generate some promos and help drum up some cash. And
So these are the things you're working on.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I become an AP. So that was my first accredited IMDb as an assistant, as a producer, So that's that. And then after that, everything's really kind of fell into place. The Driver, I'm a producer. Click on This, I'm a producer. The Riddle House, I'm a producer. It's not bad, man. Like I said, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and it seems like you'd be a lot more involved with the film itself. And
Well, yeah. The only thing that I'm afraid of, and Tracy's even said the same thing, she's like, don't burn yourself out being a producer, because by the time you're ready to shoot, you might be too tired. I'm like, I know. It's possible.
Sure.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
But I
It's
think
a job in itself.
it's a job. It really is. But I told Edward, once we do the Riddle House, once we have the green light, I put down the producer's cap, and I'm just going to rehearse, and I'm just going to study, and I'm just going to be an actor. I'm just going to be Peter Gunn. So, it's a lot to take on right now, but I'd rather be moving fast and forward than just sitting still. I can't sit still.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I'm like you. I mean, this took a lot of work too.
No doubt.
Yeah, your show, man.
Now, what about directing? Any interest there?
I know my limitations, man. I'm not a writer by any stretch. I've got the worst left-handed writing anyway. It's terrible looking. No one can read it, but I'm terrible at writing. And directing, I have a vision, but it's very hard for me to express it. So I've watched directors, and I don't know how, like James Wan, for example, I don't know where he comes up with some of this stuff. It's amazing.
Incredible.
It's amazing. It's incredible. It's like, that's exactly what I was feeling. I never would have thought of spinning the room to get there. I can't think that way. Because if I shot stuff, it would be like on the iPhone. Okay, here we go. How does that look? Is that cool? Can we sell that for $1 million? I'm not a director, but I can always put in 2 cents for directing my character. I can direct a character. I can't direct a screen, you know.
Whole different art.
Completely different, man. And I have major respect for great directors. I have respect for all directors because they put up with so much, and it's not easy. But yeah, I was talking with Laura James. I worked with her in Coffin 2. Very pretty actress model. She's doing super well these days. And she's like, oh, you want to see some of my stuff? I've directed some stuff. Just like little homemade movies. And she edited it together. Spellbound. I enjoy watching people that take the time to do stuff and go through with it. Because knowing me, I'd shoot something and halfway through I'm like, oh, this sucks. Oh my God, it's going to be so bad.
And then just stop.
And just stop. And that's the end of it. She had a theme, a 5-minute movie of her and her upstate New York farm. Just did some stuff, edited together, scored it, directed the whole piece. I was very impressed. I can't say I don't have the talent to do that. I just don't have, I don't think, I haven't been able to find my way to that yet. You know, I can do a lot of other things.
Sure.
Yeah, act, produce, create, but stuff on set, yeah, I can't write. My brother's the writer. I cannot write, and I can't direct, not yet.
So look, you know your strengths and your limitations.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't do it. You can't be Superman.
That's right.
You can't do everything.
So I know you don't have much free time, I'm sure, because it sounds like you're very busy. But
Yeah.
We talked about what you do on the beach, you know,
Yeah.
with your YouTube channel.
Yes.
What else do you do in your free time? What do you like to do?
I love the snowboard. Huge
Okay.
snowboarder, man.
Where do you go?
Mammoth, Big Bear, here on the East Coast, Breckenridge. Wait, what's that? Snowshoe.
Where's that?
That's down in West Virginia, believe it or
okay.
not. It's awesome. Killington, yeah. What else on the Midwest? Steamboat. And I've done, of course, Salt Lake City. I've done around Sundance. You know, it's just good stuff out there, man. I love snowboarding. I tried my hand at skiing. I couldn't do it to save my life. But snowboarding is just, it's a great release. And I'm a speed freak, but I find something very calming about the snow. I like cold weather. I'm from the East Coast, you know, so. I like horseback riding. That's fun. I used to skate a lot, skateboarding. But I got to watch Breaking Bones again, man. It's just dangerous. I can't do that. Land on my face, my agent will kill me. I like working on old cars. You know, I'm a gearhead. My father used to have a 57 T-Bird. We built that from the ground up. Yeah, man. I used to have an old Harley Davidson. Made it look like a 1964. So, you know, I got a big Jeep. I love working on cars, my friends' cars. And those are the things I like to do. You know, I like to write music. And like I said, I like to shoot GoPro videos. It's all kind of part of the industry. It helps me with staying greased as an actor. And like I said earlier, man, in your episode, an actor that doesn't have any outlets or, you know, the only thing acting 24 hours out of the day is a boring actor. You need to have more. You know, I hate these guys. Oh my God. You know, all I think about is acting. I got to find out my next audition, this, that, and the other thing. Really? How lonely.
Right. There's more to life.
There's
than
more
that.
to life, man.
Yeah.
There's more to life. And you'll get the job eventually, guys, you know? You got to work at it when you're working. You know, you have to take classes. I still take classes.
Stay sharp.
You got to. You got to, man.
Learn new things.
Always. You know, you learn new things by meeting people and going out and talking to other actors at different like networks and social hour and picking up certain things. You know, I like studying mannerisms, how people walk, how people don't say anything, you know, how people look at you when they're pissed off or quiet, you know, just don't want to be bothered. I pick up things like that. I
Bring
collect
that
those.
into your acting.
Yeah, I collect all those things. That's me, you know. I do. I instill that in my acting.
So, in some regard, you're probably always working in the back of your mind subconsciously.
Yeah, I am. You're not the first one to say that. I am. You know, it is a 24-hour job, but it's how you handle it.
Right.
Yeah, it's how you handle it, man. Because if you go in that other direction, you're going to go crazy.
So I asked you earlier, and I'd just like to get back to it one more time if we can.
Sure.
Because I know this is a tough career for a lot of people. And a lot of people hit rock bottom and they probably give up. So when you were at your lowest time, how did you get through it?
I'm a very positive person. So my lowest is really not that low. I've also learned, I got this from my father, his work ethic. Just work. Just work.
So you're not sulking in it.
Just work, man. Just work. Yes, you might have some downtime. You might have some. To be honest, right hand to God, I don't really get depressed. I don't think I have time to get depressed. That's another thing. I'm just too excited about so many things in life, you know, that I like being like this positive vibe, you know. I'm all about positive energy, but if I ever felt down about something, my way to cope and to deal with it is to work. Not necessarily act. Let's just say work on myself.
Mm-hmm. So it might be going out and doing a GoPro.
It could be going out doing a GoPro. It can be going to the Walters Art Museum. Mm-hmm. It can be just studying painting. Just look at colors for a minute. I always found looking at colors like this, right? Colors always kind of brighten my day. Yeah, I mean, usually I'm usually in basic black. I try to I wasn't gonna wear a suit, but
you mixed it up today.
Yeah, I mixed it up today. Music also helps. But then also, if you're like kind of depressed and down, you tend to listen to darker music, so you got to be careful with that. But for me, yeah, pulling out the GoPro and creating, making art, and studying art. And I like watching movies too, man. That kind of helps me.
Sure.
I get into my mind and tell myself to relax. And then, just like I said, work at bettering yourself, you know? I know people fall into that dark depression. I've never subscribed to it, you know, fortunately, I guess. It's just not in my hard wire. That's why people think I'm always on drugs, because I'm just so positive and so excited about life, but I really am. I'm really excited to see what's happening like in the next 25 minutes. I'm always excited. I'm a hyperactive dog. I really am, man, you know?
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
So look, you've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
The NASA series, I know you mentioned you were all over.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere that you like best or that you'd like to go back to?
Oh, of course. Hands down, New Orleans.
Ooh.
New Orleans.
Why?
Many reasons. I think I've been to New Orleans about 17 times. Mm. The first time I went was with Dawson's Creek. Let me tell you a story about that. We did an episode. I think it was like a bachelor party episode. So Josh Jackson and all of the junior stockbrokers, including myself, we were called by the producers. Hey man, you guys are gonna be shooting in New Orleans. And we're like, that's great. You're gonna be shooting on Bourbon Street, like around last call. No, that's not so good. No, it's gonna be a nut house, right? So we're gonna have a minimal skeleton crew. You guys are gonna be dressed in your coat and tie. Don't deal with anybody. Don't try to offend anybody. Let's just do our lines in the middle of Bourbon Street and get out. And we were kind of worried for it. We were like, okay, we better get ready for this. So we're hanging out, and then first team, so we get on Bourbon Street. And we're looking around, and no one's really bothering us. They pull the cameras, action, and we start doing our lines, and we're doing the whole thing. We do a fake fight. No one seemed to bother us. Everyone was just too wasted, drunk. No one really cared that we were on the street. And Josh is like,
incredible.
Can we just do this again? Yeah, no one's bothering us. Yeah, this is great. So we did it again. And this time we're less tense, and now we're really acting and having a great time doing it, and it looked awesome. No one bothered us. They just thought we were a bunch of corporate jerks in ties in the middle of Bourbon Street having a small argument. It was great. So ever since then, man, I fell in love with New Orleans, not because of that, but because I didn't have a chance to really see the town. When we broke from Dawson's Creek, I stayed 3 days. I stayed at the Iberville Suites right off of Bourbon. And I did the ghost tour, all the touristy stuff, and I fell in love with it. And I came back the next year because I booked a show called Growing Pains. I shot Growing Pains down there. And after, that was a 2-week shoot for me. I had a big role. After I did Growing Pains, I had some money in my pocket. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay down here for a week and a half. So I stayed there. And some of the extras I made friends with on my set, and they showed me around. They showed me Frenchman Street, like the real New Orleans where they only speak French. You know, and I checked out St. Louis, the first cemetery where the vampires live. Dude, it was so awesome. Hung out in the Warehouse District. I went to Tchoupitoulas and just had such a blast learning the history of New Orleans and the French Quarter. And then I came back another year because I booked another TV show called Stuck in the Suburbs, which was made for Disney. It was a after-school special. And that was only like a 3 or 4 day shoot, but I stayed an extra week, and I got to see all the sites and like the offbeat sites. And to this day, I'll go back to New Orleans anytime. I love it down there. The French Quarter is great.
Is New Orleans back to where it was?
No, definitely not, bro. It's really sad. There was such an electricity when I first went there. And of course, after the first hurricane, let's just say that, devastation. And then the second hurricane just wiped them out completely. And a lot of that great stuff on Frenchmen, like the outdoor cafes where they're only speaking French Creole, it's just gone. Gone. 200, 300-year-old trees, the cypress trees, blown away. You know, half of like the cemeteries, the original cemeteries, you know, like from like St. Louis, you know, from the Archdiocese, washed away. Sad, just really sad. And most of New Orleans, like like Bourbon Street, the real commercial stuff, you'd be able to go there at 10 a.m. People just having a blast. Nowadays, nothing really starts till after 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's like happy hour on. It's so different. But I will always go back to New Orleans. I love New Orleans.
So it's your favorite spot?
It's one of my favorite spots, in the States at least. Yeah. Definitely. I have, with NASA 360, I went to Kona in Hawaii. And that's really off the beaten path. It's like literally like palm trees, pineapple trees, and farms. And they had the big mountain. If you go up the mountain, like elevation 10,000 feet, there's snow up there.
Wow.
Yeah, in Hawaii. I got elevation sickness. It was rad. It was like me and Jennifer Pulley, the other host from NASA 360. We both had to get oxygen. We had elevation sickness.
No kidding.
Yeah, man. But I can see why back in the day, the natives would think the gods lived up there. Because you're above the clouds and it's snowing.
It's incredible.
But meanwhile, if you go back down, it's beautiful, hot, sunny beaches.
80 degrees.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's so awesome, man. So then that was fun too. I go back there. I go back to Barcelona. I went there with my family. But I've been all over the world. Barcelona was cool though. Yeah, man. And I go to Boracay. I go back to the Philippines. That place, El Nido, Palawan, and Boracay. Those islands are like they're like the playground for the Europeans. It's just gorgeous. If you ever watch like the early Bond films, like Sean Connery and Roger Moore coming and diving in, that's what they shot.
Okay.
So it's like untouched, vast forest with blue water and pink sand. I go back there in a heartbeat, man.
Nice.
One day.
You'll do it.
Yeah, man.
What kind of advice can you give actors? They may want to jumpstart their careers and get into it, like in the 6th gear, like you are, the highest gear.
The highest gear?
Because I'm sure people get complacent, right? So I'm just thinking about,
course.
What advice do you have for them?
Coming from me, like I said, I'm a very positive person. I'm always looking to better myself. And not just try to get on the next level of acting and try to beat that actor. No, I'm trying to find ways to better me with my craft. You know, it's a craft, guys. You know, it's a craft. Don't try to find a better agent to try to get you auditions. Are you worthy of going to those auditions? Because if you finally get with a good agent and your audition skills are terrible, well, what if you audition for Spielberg at your first audition and you fail miserably? They're never going to call you in again. You have to have your tools and you have to have your guns filled. And I know that I always say to actors, you know, classes, definitely. But, you know, it's also about within. It's really how much you want it. But you have to better yourself. Forget about trying to get that next film. Forget about trying to get that next movie or that next TV show. See if you can actually feel great about leaving an audition. Because I remember starting out at an early age, and I'd audition like anybody else, and you'd leave and go, oh, God, I wish I did this. God, I wish I did that. Why didn't I say? Well, that's because you weren't taking chances. That's all I do. I'm a risk taker now, man. And I'll go round for round with anybody. And that's what I tell actors to do. Learn your strengths, build up on them, and use them. Like my perfect example with NASA 360. Everyone was in coat and tie. I had a punk rock t-shirt on. I booked a gig. I was very confident with my acting, very confident with my skills. And I did it my way. You know, directors will say, oh, I want you to do it this way. But they really don't know what they want. The Casting Services of America, CSA, the breakdowns that they send to all the agents, looking for 25 through 35, needs to be this kind of actor, this, that, and the other thing. These are just generalizations. If you just remotely fit that mold, your agent will submit you. It's up to you to bring a character when you get there. And I always say this to actors too. If you have a choice to audition in front of the casting director or do a self-tape, always go to the casting director. Self-tape, a lot of them they don't even watch. They put it on fast forward, on mute, and if something catches their eye, oh, stop, let's watch that one. Most of the time they don't even watch it. If you're in the room, they have to watch you. And I can win a room, man. You know, I like being that bright light. You know, I like being that bright light. Sometimes you got to be in their face to be a bright light. I've also learned tricks like if the casting director's talking really quiet, you bring it down too. You're at their level. It's all psychological, man. I've learned these things, and it works. I've learned some people are germaphobes. Don't shake anyone's hand. Just say, hey, what's going on, man? I'm serious. Little things like that. But I've been doing this for so long that it just becomes, it's routine for me, you know? So to tell actors, you know, if I had to give any actors advice, I always say, look, man, live. Get out there. Better your craft. Try to be a better auditioner. Not just a better actor, a better auditioner. Have that opening, a middle, and close at every audition. And if you can leave saying, you know what, I couldn't have done any better, I liked what I did, then you've done your job, you're happy. Yeah. And hopefully they will be too. Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. You know, it's about taking care of yourself first. You can't take care of another number one if you can't take care of number one.
What are some of the things you do to prepare?
Well, if I can get the script in advance, like I told you, I'd read and read and read and read some more. I always, for any audition, I'm always off book. Everything's memorized. You always hold the script in your hand, but everything's memorized. So I can converse and I can interact with you like this. Because if I was glued to the page, I mean, how real does that look? Right. Yeah. I'm to the point where I can roll it up and it can be a bat, and I can swing this and talk to you like this. It's more believable. Yeah. So the way I prepare, I memorize my script. I try to get comfortable in some kind of clothing that's going to look like the character. You know, if you're going in as a priest, you don't wear like the collar. But you can wear a blazer and a shirt. You know, you can just look presentable. You don't want to come in the shorts and a tank top. You know, you gotta kind of have to fit the role. I also do voice technique. I'll sit in my Jeep and I'll just say the lines out real loud and real fast. Real loud and real fast. Real loud and real fast. And I found out fast because if I'm still stuttering against a couple lines, that means I don't know it 100%. But if you can say it like super fast, then you know it. You got it. And you know their lines too. So I don't like just knowing cue words, the last 2 lines of a sentence. Because what if they screw up? What if they change it?
Right.
I need to know
And
the
you're
gist.
lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a trick. I'll share a trick with you. I notice a lot of actors at auditions. Oh, this is going to kill me. A lot of actors at auditions, they'll wait for the last few words, and then they'll say their lines. I book a lot of my auditions because I cut the other person talking. They're off screen. Why do I have to listen to them the entire time? It's more believable, too, when you jump on someone else's line. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Look, see what you just did?
Yes.
See? You see?
love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's acting, man. So I bring that to my audition. And they're like, geez, this guy.
Cool.
Hell yeah. I go. And then when they're done with me, you want to do it again? No, you're good. You're good. You got a call back. I'm like, I know I did. That's how you do it. So that's one of my tricks.
I like it.
It's a good, yeah. People forget. Acting is reacting. So it's not reacting and waiting for the last line, because in real life, as we are right now, you don't know what my last line is.
Right.
But we cut each other off with the yes and the right and the, oh yeah, nah. Put that in your audition. I guarantee you'll get a call back.
So as you've matured, as you've gotten older,
Yeah.
you've become better at this. You've become
Yeah.
better at auditioning. You've become a better actor.
Of course.
And I could see why you're so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to test these new things that I've learned, man. Like, I know that young actors are so worried about booking the gig. Don't be so worried about it. Worry about impressing the casting director, and worry about impressing yourself. Because if you don't impress yourself, you're not going to want to try hard, or you might not even want to try it again. You just hate the fact that you failed, and you hate the fact that you didn't get called back and that they rejected you. The bigger picture is, okay, you didn't book that, but you impressed the casting director who's going to call you back in for the next project. That's where you want to be. That's how I got with the Fincannons in Wilmington, North Carolina. From Dawson's Creek, they booked me on One Tree Hill. They booked me on Rules of Engagement with Samuel L. Jackson. They got me in Stateside with Rachel Lee Cook. Growing Pains with the whole entire cast, because they believed in me. They knew my casting skill, my audition skills. I always tell people I'm a better auditioner than I am an actor. And in some cases, it's true. Because once I have to act, I'm like, oh man, now I got to really build character. I got more than 3 pages to work with. So that's the fun of it all, man. Learn how to audition and impress yourself and impress the casting director.
Are you a believer in visualization?
Yeah, of course. I'm also a believer in visualization verbally. You know? That mind's eye, when like I told you, when you read a script and all of a sudden you can see like the room that they're talking about or the forest that they're talking about. Well, why can't you control what they see by what you're saying? That's another trick that I use. You know? They don't just put out words out there for you to just say it. There's a meaning behind it. You know, if you're really hot about how your sister just crashed your car, well, let them feel the fact that it was your car and that it was this color, and you want them to see it, how angry you are because you actually had invested this much time into it. And that's how you draw them in. Now, you don't just say the dialogue, you see it. And if you see it, sometimes that comes out visually through audio. It's hard for me to explain, but that's something that I've done. And people are like, you know, I felt that. I really saw what you were seeing and what you were saying. I'm like, yeah, well, that's part of the art. That's part of the art.
And how about before you go into an audition? Do you try to put yourself in that audition, getting that role, delivering a great audition that day? Do you do any meditation? I'm just trying to get to some of the things that
I do.
You know, you talked about being in your truck and maybe.
Yeah, I do. I've learned that a lot of actors try to sabotage other actors by trying to talk to them and ruin your focus and concentration, your mojo, right? I'll sign in. Here's my SAG card. Yeah, here's my sign in. Set my script. Awesome. I'll be right back. And I'll leave. And if it's on the 5th floor, man, everybody's in the hallway. That's still too noisy for me. I'll go outside. And if there's still actors out there, I'll go around the corner. Go away. It's my time. Because I didn't travel all this way to fail. I didn't come this far to come this far. I want to get past this. And I'm here to beat you all, man. Yeah, I don't take it lightly. So I've got that aggressive mode. Yeah, I will read the script once, then I'll calm down. I'll breathe. I'll read it again. And then I really try to lock myself in, my eyes into the paper, and start memorizing everything. And once I do that, I start lifting words off the page. Now I know I'm back in. Now I'm in the zone. Perfect. Let's do this. Let's do this. Now you can talk to me without me looking at my script. Now I'm ready to go. That's how I work. Yeah. But it takes years to do that, man. It's not easy.
Right.
It is not easy. But that's my method. Everybody's got their own. Some people can study like on the subway. I don't know how people do it. Like, could you?
No.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
get off the R train. There's no way I can do it. But some people can do that in a crowded room with casting. No one bothers them. And then when they're ready to go in, they're focused. I love that. I wish I had that ability. I don't have that ability. I have to be away from everything. But yeah, breathing technique, scream in the truck, leave me alone.
So what's next for Johnny Alonzo? What could we expect to see from you, say, the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Where are you going with your career?
Where am I going with my career? I see a tombstone for some reason. I know that these films will be coming out, and they will be great. They will be. Even if they're not box office smash, well, guess what? They're gonna be great for me. I do this for me. I do, man. But I've also known when I do it for me and I really enjoy it, others really like it too. So I know that others will like this as well. I see these franchise films just doing well. I see producing in my future a lot more. I see myself back on episodic television. My agent's been trying to put me back on TV. I enjoy film work because you can work several weeks and then you don't have to work for a few months. When I was on Dawson's and One Tree in Gotham, you're there all the time, you know, which I don't have a problem with. It's nice having a stable job and working on a soundstage for like X amount of weeks. But there's more leeway with film. I get to take my time with my lines. You know, not that much time, but a lot more time than you have in television. Television, you're very limited. I'm more of a TV actor because I do speak fast, and I can get my point across faster, but I just enjoy film. So producing more projects, eventually get on TV again, and then who knows, man. That's a solid couple years right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good.
Yeah.
How did you get interested in the horror film industry?
You know, I have a director named Kevin Kangas to thank for that. He put me in a movie called Fear of Clowns 2, and I never saw myself to be a horror film kind of actor. Hey, I'm a short guy. I'm only 5'8", right? How can I be menacing? And Kevin's like, no, you can be menacing, man. Trust me, dude. I've seen it. So, you know, I've learned that there's an acting technique, like in my character, Trick. I'm a small guy next to like Robert Mukes. He's like 6'10". How am I supposed to be menacing to that? Well, it's all in your acting. It's all the way in your speech and in your body language.
Yeah.
And how you control. Yeah, because they always say, watch out for the little guy, right? And now I figured it out. You know, there are ways to make that happen. Horror is just fun, man. It's you know it's not real, but there's something about it that you just want to watch like this the entire time. You just there's something about it, and there's a control that I really like about doing horror movies, because when you watch What Death Leaves Behind, Aaron O'Brien and I, we have these really dark characters. And even I don't remember shooting what I did on set. I mean, I toss her around. She's slapping, she's punching. Dude, I don't remember half of it. All I remember is the director saying, great, did anybody get hurt? And we're like, no, we're fine.
You were in the zone.
You're in the zone.
Yeah.
Total tunnel. And then when we watched it on screen, we're like, geez, we look really good. And to come out of it unscathed, that's an art in itself, man. But horror filmmaking is fun. It really is. But like I said, I also like playing the offbeat characters, like Kaz from Gotham. I've got pink and green hair, and I'm playing the bass, and I'm one of the henchmen to Penguin. And
How was that experience?
that was fun. I mean, working with Robin Lord Taylor, shooting at Steiner Studios was just something else, man. Fox, it was on Fox, so one of the best sound stages ever and one of the biggest shows at the time. Working with Robin Taylor was great, and I'm a musician by heart, so playing an actor, playing a musician, playing an actor was so easy for me. And I got to play all the music in the studio. So all the music you see us playing too, it's actually us recording that we recorded from the studio.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a triple
That's
contract.
rare.
It was awesome. Yeah. Then you see me as Joey D on One Tree Hill, and I'm more of like a power suit businessman, but still in the rock band business world. And then you see me as Jimmy Franco on Dawson's Creek, and I'm a junior stockbroker. I'm in a white shirt and a blue tie. So I've played some really cool characters, man.
Yeah.
But playing horror is so much more fun because I get to really test the limits. I get to test the limits. This Riddle House is a horror film, but my character isn't. He's not the bad guy. So I'm the victim. Tracy's character, Violet. So Peter Gunn and Violet, we're victims in this film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever played that role?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, this is gonna be wicked.
That's good.
Very, very excited. So we got like this cool look, very rock and roll look. I don't know if I can pull off the rock and roll look. I don't know if you.
I think you might
be able
do
to.
pretty good with
Maybe might be able to. So we're playing this rock and roll characters that I can't give away too much, but they find a connection within each other, and they really get into it, and then it goes wild. So that's going to be a totally different arc for me. That's why we're and for her too. We're very excited about these roles, man, and to work against some of those names that are attached to the docket. It's going to be wild.
I like the Danny Glover.
Danny Glover. Yeah. Me too.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Johnny, this has been great. I just have a couple more questions, if you
Sure,
don't mind.
sure.
First thing, how do you keep up this intensity? I love it. I love your energy. I love your drive.
Thank you.
It's just you.
It's just me. My parents, it's definitely hereditary. My parents are also the brightest lights whenever they walk into a room. My father is a man of few words. He says 5 words. It's like the length of the Bible. It's one of those kind of guys. But he's got a power about him. My mother is a very happy-go-lucky. She's a pediatrician. She loves kids. Everybody comes to her. She has a song that only dogs and kids can hear. It's one of those ladies. So that hyperactivity that I have is an energy. It's a positive energy that I got from my parents. And that's just me. That's just me. My brother's not so much. My brother James, he's more reserved. He's a writer. Jason, he's a little bit like me, but he's a little more controllable. He's more contained.
Where do you fit in the?
I'm the oldest,
You're the oldest,
but
okay.
I'm the most hyper, and sometimes they think I'm the youngest because I'm all over the map. But we all have different personalities, but we all kind of look the same, which is kind of wild. But to keep up this energy, no, this is just me. This has just always been me. That's why people like to be around me, especially when they're kind of down. Because, I'm like, just hang out with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll cheer you up one way or the other. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Put your Prozac away. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. So.
Well, we definitely would have been buddies in high school.
Oh, you and I, dude. No doubt, dude. We would have rolled together.
Speaking of your family,
Yes.
what do they think about your career?
They love it. Honestly.
I bet they're so
They
proud.
They love it. They are. They're very proud. At first, well, I can't even say at first. Look, my dad, of course, wanted us to follow in his footsteps. He wanted us to take his practice as a plastic surgeon or some kind of doctor. I tried. I was going to go to medical school. I couldn't handle it. And he was like, cool, I'm not going to force you. He's like, my dad never forced me to do anything. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
As long as you're successful. And look where I am now. Yeah, they're very happy. Very happy, very proud. Every time I'm on TV, every time I have a premiere, every time one of their friends says, oh, I just saw him on television. Oh, check him out online. They're very happy.
And I'm sure that support helps.
It does.
Helps keep you going. And,
It does.
Yeah, be able to
does.
call
Oh,
when
yeah.
you need to. And
No, yeah. In Cali, we're very close. I call my parents all the time, and my brothers all the time. And, like, I tell my dad, yeah, I know you don't have Amazon Prime, but if you type in my name, there's like 19 films of me on there. And he's like, oh, that's good. Is that good? I'm like, that's great, Dad. That's great. It's great. So things are going my way, man. And my cousins, everybody's very, very proud. My aunts and uncles are very proud. And I like doing it for the family. I do it for myself, of course,
Sure.
but it's nice having that family support. You're absolutely right, because I know a lot of people that don't have family support. And I don't know what I would have done without having family. And now with the great invention of Facebook, your family all over the world sees your stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's my cousin in the States, man. Or, that's my cousin. We just saw you on, on Netflix. I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. But like I said, I don't live in my past. You always try to keep going forward. Like my dad said, just work. Just work, just work, just work. Something's going to happen for you eventually where you're going to have to slow down and take the congratulations. But rather just work.
good advice.
Yeah, it is. It's strong people,
Like
my
that.
parents,
So if you were to take out your cell phone right now and call the 20-year-old Johnny, what advice would you give him?
Put down the drugs. No, all jokes aside. At 20, I was very focused. As hyperactive as I was in the band. The only advice I would have had would be to maybe listen in school more. Because I could care less. I mean, I wasn't a dumb kid. I just didn't want to apply myself to anything. I always thought I could do things on my own.
And your interests probably weren't there.
They were definitely not
they
there.
were
They
elsewhere.
were all in the arts, man.
Right.
They were always in the arts. And I excelled in the arts. And I excelled as being a loner and figuring things out on my own. Like my dad. He's very, okay, you can't show me, it's all right. I'll do it myself. That's how I am.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. And I wish I figured out early that, yeah, you should have just taken care of school first, I got through. But I just gave everybody so much hell. So much hell because I was such a rebel. And I mean, it all worked out in the rinse. It definitely did. But I would have definitely stepped back and said, dude, these people are actually trying to help you. You don't have to be so anti.
It's hard to see at 20.
It totally is. It totally is. It's even still hard to see it now sometimes. But I get it now. Everybody was just trying to help. But I was actually, like I said, I was very rebellious growing up. I was very, very rebellious. And I ran with the wrong crowd, man. And I used to break into houses and steal cars. It was terrible.
Did you ever get in trouble?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, with the law, too. I was bad. So my parents didn't think at the time I was going to straighten out. But
This is in Queens?
this was in Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore, 'cause you moved down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that was more of that was just me trying to find me. And I hated everyone. And so this image that you see, really, this is really me. This is not, and, I may have made the look, but I mean, it's how I feel sometimes. It really is. It's not like I just bought the jacket from like a mall. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm wearing Docs, it's because there's a reason to it. That's how I feel. But all that aside, man, I think I turned out all right.
I'd say so.
I'd say
I'd say
I'm
so.
okay. I'm all right.
So, thank you again. This has been phenomenal.
it's
I'm
awesome.
so happy we got together.
Me too, man.
You're now part of the American Real family. And but one last question before I let you go,
Sure.
Johnny. And I ask every guest this because I'm so interested to know, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, man, I should have prepared for this one. Wow. You know, some people have said, oh, you're already immortalized. You have so much stuff out there, you know? Which I do. And it's kind of cool. I don't really work for that. But I thought about it lately. I'm like, yeah, even when I'm gone, all this stuff's going to still be around. It's kind of cool. I want to be a role model. I want people to realize that it doesn't always have to be so negative. Seriously, man. It can be a positive world. And I like being a role model to some people. I have been. You know, I get emails saying, you know, I really look up to you. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I'm like, hey, man, it's just me, but I'm glad I can help. So, yeah, being a positive role model to others, that's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, there you go.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, bro.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. I'll see you again, right?
Absolutely.
What's that?
Thank you for tuning into American Real. Be sure to visit our website, AmericanReal.tv, or search for us on iTunes or YouTube for past episodes. While you're there, please rate us or leave us a review. You can also connect with me directly on Instagram or Facebook, or by emailing roger@AmericanReal.tv. Now, if you're wanting to find your voice and share your story, join our live tribe and experience our 21-day live video challenge, where the first cycle is absolutely free. Go to AmericanReal.tv/live-tribe to register. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next show.
I've always been an entertainer. From my earliest days, yeah, I can remember. First grade, my mom, she'd bring the old ladies over. And she'd put me on the coffee table, put a spoon in my hand, I'd sing to all the ladies. It's on my mother's side, they sing, they dance, they play music. They're just always happy with the lively arts. And a lot of it had to do with me putting myself out there. Talking to like the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hey, I want to write up. Who the hell are you? I'm Johnny Alonzo. Well, that's kind of a cool name. Okay, we'll do a write-up on you once. And then, needless to say, people knew who I was after that. That's it. And taking classes nonstop, meeting new people in your classes, because there's always somebody that knows just a little bit more than you. I'm always looking to better myself, and not just try to get on the next level of acting and try to beat that actor. No, I'm trying to find ways to better me. That's your job. Just go and do your best and never be inferior. Never be afraid.